what's up everyone, Morey Croson here, and I'm super excited about the video today as we're going to be going over who should be the first quarterback taken in the 2021 draft class. And I'm just comparing Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. In my opinion, those are the two best quarterbacks, and going into some of the stats and some of the big plays from this last week. I know we're going to be kind of going through a small sample size, but I to the best of my ability, went through and picked some of the best plays to be able to show, what are some of the differences between the two and where we can get, the best understanding on who would be the best pick and the best top pick in the 2021 draft. So as always, if you like the information, go ahead and click the thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, go ahead and leave those down below. We'll get to those as soon as we can, and we'll hop in the video right now. All right, so we're going to start out looking at Trevor Lawrence here. I think overall, before we hop in the video, you can't go wrong with either one of these guys. It's a very similar situation as Andrew Luck and RG3 from, a little while back. And, obviously both those guys didn't end up having as great of careers as they could based off of injuries, but I think this is a very, very similar situation where as long as they both stay healthy, they're going to be very, very great at the next level. Just to real quick give you some numbers to be able to think about. So Justin Fields is 6'3", 228 pounds, and Trevor Lawrence is 6'6", 220 pounds. So a little bit of a difference between size. It's crazy. They both are from Georgia. They both have a awesome history together where it seems like they continue to, battle it out for, championships, playoffs, things like that. So to see, then again, them meeting here in the semifinal was awesome. Great game. And, going to be able to go a little bit more in depth about their mechanics. So first we're going to go into Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence does so many things really nice with his throw. One of the things that stands out here is he really drives off that back leg, gets a ton of rotation, and just has such a strong arm. This was from about the 30-yard line, and he throws about a 25-yard dart, and that's basically a line drive the entire time. So he definitely has NFL type arm strength, which is going to be critical, obviously, as he continues to go up. That's going to be the first thing, to me. And actually, when it goes to going to the NFL, most guys, I think, struggle with the accuracy, right? Because the windows become a lot smaller once you go to the NFL. So, making sure that you're able to, fit the ball in tight windows is going to be the biggest question, especially because both these guys seem like they have really, really strong arms. Here we're going to go, let's take a look to see release time. Let's say the ball comes off at 3:21 or the hand comes off at 3:21. Ball comes out at 3:21, you need to go in 0.45, and then it comes out at probably about a little bit after 7.8, or 7.5, so let's say 7.6, right? So that's a 0.31. Even if it, closer to 7.8, that still would be 0.33. So he has a very, very quick release, able to get the ball out of his hands extremely quickly. He's so efficient in his overall mechanics, and I just love that about his throw. It's very, very smooth. Now we'll look into Justin Fields here. All right, very similar. Let's go and look at his numbers. So let's say it's leaving his hand at 31.01, and then it's out at, it's definitely a different type of throw. 0.31, so it's at 0.3 here when he's releasing the ball. So they're both at a very, very similar time period in terms of how quickly they're getting the ball out of their hands. We have a few different ones here. And that's one of the things with Justin Fields, his arm strength just seems to really stand out. And you know what I also really love about watching him play is he just always seems so cool and calm and collected. He just seems like such a competitive person overall. Like he's just not going to lose. And he does a great job as well, driving off that back leg. You can almost tell he definitely has a baseball background just in kind of how he loads and how he finishes onto that front leg. Definitely had some pitching, and we've seen a lot of quarterbacks have great success. Right now, the big one's Patrick Mahomes as a baseball athlete that also, played quarterback, and you could tell Justin Fields had the same type of background. He really loads the ball back a good amount here. You know, there is a little bit of a potential for turnovers with you bringing the ball that far back. You can see how, you know, these defensive ends come all the way around it. And I do see that a lot when you're watching NFL games. You know, the ball gets too far back and then the defensive end can get their hand on it and then cause a fumble. And, you know, that obviously be something that you want to be able to avoid. This ends up being a deep ball that he just barely overthrows. But, you know, still a great throw in terms of, you know, the ability to really put a lot on it very, very easily. I'm going to go one more here. Let's go 98. Just my time. Okay, so this one, what you can do is you see how he kind of flips his hips and he's able to get, I just want to see the front view actually, this view. So I love how, as he's going, he does a great job being able to kind of load back there. He gets the nose of the football to kind of face upwards a little bit unique there in how he loads the ball. But he really rotates with that upper body to kind of keep his trunk retracted there, keep it back. And then from there, he really drives that arm through. And look, notice how he doesn't spend like any time with that ball back behind the head. He creates a great amount of external rotation, gets that wrist around, you know, so well. From a mechanics standpoint, he's just so clean. And that's why, you know, to me, just to let you guys know, I think Justin Fields is the guy that should be picked first. I think he's the most valuable quarterback you know, available, most valuable overall player in the draft. So to me, you know, he should be the first guy. Everybody seems to be going more with Trevor Lawrence and thinking that he should be the right guy. But yeah, in my opinion, I would say Justin Fields, and this is going to be a throw. One of the reasons I said that is because, you know, look at this throw here where, you know, quick post in between two, and this is the type of throw that really, you know, to me, if I'm a GM and I'm watching this, it like solidifies, you know, this is such a big game. Yeah, they're already kind of, you know, have a lead at this point, but he's even getting pressure even after he throws. He's like reacting to his guard about to step on his hand, is able to have the wherewithal to be able to push him away to make sure he doesn't step on his foot, you know, after throwing an absolute dagger of a throw in between a safety and right past the defensive back and perfectly into his tight end's hand. I mean, you just don't see anybody make a throw like that. I mean, and he doesn't, it seems so easy to him because he just right afterwards was like, oh shoot, you know, let me make sure that this guard doesn't step on me as I, you know, make this amazing throw. And you know, you go back and then the next drive, you know, Trevor Lawrence comes right back and has, you know, the ability to come back and has a lot of great throws as well. And that's one of the things that is interesting to me about, you know, this whole rivalry with Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields is it seems like Justin Fields gets up on him and then Trevor Lawrence starts to play, you know, where Justin Fields seems to always bring that competitiveness. No matter what, he's going to be at the top of his game, where, you know, Trevor Lawrence kind of needs to get knocked down a couple times and be able to respond. So he almost kind of has, you know, a little bit of that Tom Brady type, because it seems like Tom Brady's like that a little bit too, where once he's down, then you really get the Tom Brady, where even as a viewer, you're watching, you're like, all right, Tom Brady's about to come back right now. They're down 21. It's the Super Bowl, or, you know, they're down by 3. It's the Super Bowl, or 4, whatever. He's going to come and score. You just know it because it's Tom Brady. You know, Trevor Lawrence seems to have a little bit of that too, where, you know, he knows he's going to come back. I think this is a great throw, and this will be the last one that we'll go over here. Obvious pressure here, and I just want to actually show the play before too. So the play before, he goes and he's carrying out here we go. He's carrying out a fake, right? And he gets absolutely tattooed by the D end and takes him out. He's like, what the hell? You got to call a penalty on that, you know? But then comes back, shakes it off, no big deal, you know. D lineman gets through, he knows it's coming, and it knows he's going to take a shot, leans into the shot even, doesn't even back away, like, oh, I see this D line coming, I'm going to lean into the D lineman, and then throws a 20-yard can the ball have been in a better place overall? And so, again, you can't really mess up with these guys. I really quick want to go over their stats. So, in 2019, and I feel for Justin Fields where it's like, you know, I almost I believe that he would have won the Heisman this year if he would have been able to play a full season. So if there's anybody that's disappointed in not being able to play the full season, it's him. And you could see in how he performed in the games he did. So in 2019, he had 238 completions, 354 attempts. So his completion percentage, 67%, is amazing. 41 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and over the course of his career, overall, he rushed for 1,066 yards. So he's able to, and in 2019, he had 10 touchdowns. He didn't have, I want to say he had like 800 yards or something like that altogether, 10 touchdowns rushing. So he had 51 touchdowns in 2019, right? As a sophomore, ended up losing the Heisman to Joe Burrow, obviously. But then this year, 2020, 141 completions, 192 attempts, 73.4 completion percentage, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. You know, he didn't get to play as many games. I think they played 6-7 games. But, you know, 73% completion percentage, that's just unbelievable. And he just doesn't throw very many interceptions. And you know, to me, again, I just think he's the guy that should take the job, or should be the top quarterback. But, you know, then we look at Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has 3 years to be able to look at, because he played more his freshman year. So in 2018, 259 completion, 397 attempts, 65.2 completion percentage, 30 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, which to me, on the side of a GM, that's great, because that shows he was able to come into a program right away, learn how to be able to be successful within the program, had success right away. So he's going to be able to come into a NFL offense, have the ability to adjust to, you know, the different playing fields, and have success right away, which there's a lot of teams that need that. So I'd understand, you know, maybe, well, both teams that are going to pick a quarterback are going to need them to come in, you know, right away. So, you know, Justin Fields might take a little bit longer, but I doubt it. I think both of them are going to be ready to play at the next level no matter what. 2019, 268 completions, 407 attempts, 65.8. So even as a junior, you know, that if you compare him, 36 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, yeah, you could say that the ACC overall has more competition, but, you know, the rushing touchdowns and passing touchdowns, you know, Justin Fields won in both categories, had a better completion percentage, you know, just overall had a better year in 2019. And then in 2020, you know, Trevor Lawrence, might be a year where he kind of fell off. He had a 69.2 completion percentage, which is great, but he only had 24 touchdowns, where in 2019 he had 36 touchdowns. But 231 completion, 334 attempts. So it's going to be a toss-up either way. Again, I think you're going to be, you can't be disappointed with it, but really cool to be able to see, you know, both these guys going at it. I'm curious to see what ends up happening over the next few months. But, you know, that's just my opinion. Justin Fields, I think, is the most valuable quarterback in the draft, most valuable overall player in the draft, and, you know, should be the first quarterback taken. But we'll see. You know, Trevor Lawrence, obviously, again, brings a lot to the table and is able to make some great throws as well. So, and is a tough guy, tough dude. You know, love his competitiveness, love his willingness to go and you know, rise to the occasion no matter what. So, you know, I think in any other draft, I think Trevor Lawrence would probably be the best overall guy, but, you know, Justin Fields is, to me, going to be a very, very successful quarterback at the next level. So would love to hear you guys' opinion about this. Would love to hear your feedback. Love to hear whatever you guys have to say about, you know, the video. So as always, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.